الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم وبعد. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا اللهم انفعنا وارحمنا وافتح قلوبنا وزدنا علما. Respected elders, beloved brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be here. It's the first time I'm visiting this masjid. It's a beautiful masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase this masjid and increase all of us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as Muslims, as followers of this Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we all have one thing in common, and that is we have the Aqidah that was taught to all nations from the time of Nabi Adam alayhi salam right up until our nation Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is that there is no God but Allah. He's in charge of everything. He creates everything. And that we have to believe in the Prophet of their time. So the Shahada in the time of Nabi Adam would be Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ana Adam Rasulullah or Nabi Allah. And that it would be the Shahada right through the years, right through the centuries, right up until the very last revelation, the final revelation. And that is the Sharia that we have in front of us, the Sharia that we are part of. This great ummah, an ummah that was spoken about throughout the centuries. We know that we're the best of nations, to be selected of mankind, and that is simply by following our beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every nation wanted to know, so how are they going to make salah? These people, how are they going to make salah? How do they give zakah? We are those people that were spoken about through all the centuries. So one aqidah that we have is that we believe firmly that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one. Now this aqidah that we have, it's such a powerful tool, let alone that it was reiterated right through the centuries. Every single prophet taught that kalima, that there is no God but Allah. Every time they spoke about la ilaha illallah. Every page of the Quran you're going to read, it's going to be about Tawheed. And this is a very powerful force that drives us. Because this world is cursed. And if we don't have the proper Aqidah, we'll find ourselves drowning into this world. Because it is a deception. It is a deception. It has that quality to take us away from reality until it is too late. But by reaffirming and reiterating that there is no God but Allah, it keeps us on the right track. It helps us to see things for what it really is. It helps us to see the haqq for what it is. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Al-Imran, many verses like this, but I'll just select this verse. Allahu la ilaha illahu. Allah, there is absolutely no God but Him. Huwa al-hayyul qayyum. He is the creator and He's the sustainer. Al-Hayyul Qayyum. As we are sitting here, it is easy for us to understand and for this message to settle in. Allah is the creator and Allah is the sustainer. The way that Allah causes our shahada to be said, it's a very powerful way as well. Have we ever wondered why we say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, there's no God, there's no God. Then we say, except Allah. Why not just say one time, we believe in Allah alone? Why is there this negation? We first say there is no God, then we say except Allah. Because when we want to really affirm something, and when we want to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to first look past this entire facade of this creation. That's why no deity, no feeling, no emotion. Then we can come to the true reality that, and we can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah grant us sight, Ameen. As an announcement, Mazda Baki C71252, the light is on. As we are sitting here, when we sit in our madrasas, when we sit from one JUMUAH to another JUMUAH, when we're sitting and we're speaking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we're listening, when we're watching lectures on the TV, when we're reading Islamic books, when we're listening to lectures, this message is easy to understand. And we are so convinced, we have conviction that there is no God but Allah. We have that conviction, higher than belief. However, when we find ourselves interacting with creation, when we find ourselves interacting not just with creation, we find ourselves interacting and striving for this world, striving to meet our requirements, striving to sustain ourselves. When we are interacting, then what happens? Sometimes this aqidah gets lost. Sometimes this aqidah gets lost. How is that, my dear brothers and sisters? The reason that and how it happens is that the demands that we have within ourselves or upon ourselves to seek the sustenance, to meet our daily requirements, to pay the rent, to buy the food, to sustain our families, to meet our monthly payments for this and that. It becomes so intense. It becomes so difficult. All these desires and this nafs that Allah has placed within us as a test. We want to achieve certain things and that drives us. We want a certain type of a car. We want a certain type of a house. We want to dress a certain way. We want a certain status in society. People must say that we have achieved something. That drive, it will tire us out. And it becomes so intense that we even forget that aqidah. And we become fixated on what? We become fixated is, I have to finish this job at a certain time. I have to pay my rent at a certain time. I have to pass this exams. I have to give in this, I have to give in that. And the stresses makes us forget our aqidah. And we only focus on the means. We only focus on the means. Rain is being kept back in this part of the world. Why is it kept back? Who is keeping it back? So we are fixated on how to save water, which is good, and we should do that. By no way am I saying that we should not utilize the means. We will speak about that later. I will elaborate on that later. By no means am I saying that we should not look at the means. No. This means was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So by no means am I saying that. The rain is kept back, so they'll tell you there's a low pressure cell sitting here or sitting over there. But it's kept back. So we can study the geographical reasons. We can study how we utilize water and we can try to save. But sometimes our mind just stops there. Our heart just stops there. It doesn't go further. We forget that there is someone, the Musabbib al-Asbab, the one that has sat down and created the situation that we have around us. When we're in a difficulty in our job, when we're in some family trouble, when we're in some financial difficulty, when we are struggling to do something, each and every one, as we are sitting here, there's some difficulty that we are going through. And that sometimes we forget that Allah is the one that has created that situation. He's the one that has created that situation. But because we become short-sighted, because of shaitan, يَعِدُكُمُ الْفَقْرِ, he scares you with poverty. He scares you with poverty, and all we'll focus on is the means in front of us to such a degree that people are becoming sick, they're becoming stressed, high blood, diabetic, heart failure, strokes, you name it. All due to what? Yes, there might be some medical issues because of diet or whatever. But many of those sicknesses that we are going through, the psychological sicknesses that we are going through, is due to our stresses and our worry of this world. So, we have a problem. And how are we going to deal with this problem? The problem is when we are sitting in our madrasas, when we are sitting in JUMUAH, when we are sitting and conversing and listening to lectures and watching lectures. When we are doing all of these things, our aqidah is firm. Our heart is contented. As we are sitting here, the mere fact that I said La ilaha illallah, you're willing to listen to me. The mere fact that I said that. And all of us are contented by listening to that over and over. But when we go back to our workplaces now, and the challenges starts out there, and the test plays itself out, then are we able to keep that same contentment? Are we able to keep that same connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or is it cut right in front of us? So that is what we are attempting to answer today. How do we maintain that connection? How do we maintain that shaitan doesn't deter us and take us away from this aqidah and this conviction and this contentment that we are supposed to be feeling all the time? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding. Ameen. The first thing we need to ask ourselves, and this will be the easiest, who is the one when we have a problem in our marriage with our wives, we have a problem at home with our children, we have a problem, there's an issue between the son and the father, or the son and the mother, or brother and sister, or there's a problem at the workplace, there's all these issues that we are dealing with, there's a financial problem, some difficulty. The first thing we need to ask ourselves is, who has made and created the situation? We step onto the scene. We step onto the scene and we have to act in a certain way. Allah created the scene and Allah placed us over there. Let's see what you're going to do. How are you going to act? There's certain things that you should do. Take that which the Prophet ﷺ has taught us. That which He has given to us, we take. وَمَا نَهَيْتُكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُ. And the Prophet ﷺ says, that which I told you to stay away from, stay away from. So Allah says, how do you act now? How are you going to play the scene out? So the first thing we ask ourselves is, who is the one that has created the scene in front of us? That question alone will extend your sight. So yes, it's difficult. Those matriculants, yes, it is difficult. You know, here and there we hear sometimes matriculants, they are losing their mind sometimes. Losing their mind. I have matriculants coming to me crying. You know, the grades are perfect, but this is what their family expects of them. They cry to me. And you know, I ask them, what's the problem? And they say, it's the stress, it's the pressure, it is too much. And what I try to do is to extend your vision. It's not for your certificate because it's not worth it. It's not for a simple job because that's not worth it. Ad-dunya mal'oon. It is cursed, kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This dunya is cursed. You know how it is cursed? Everything we give to this world, everything. We give everything for our cars and for our houses and for our phones and for that status and for that paycheck. We want to be that old. We want to be someone. All of the people that we know, everything that we have spent for in this dunya, you built your house from the ground up, you dug the trenches yourself. That house will not benefit you when you need it the most. Those people that we wanted to impress, they cannot benefit you when you need them the most. And that is when the sakaratul maut is starting. That is when the ruh is starting to be pulled from this body. It's not going to help you. So by extending this vision, realizing that force out there that has created it, which is Allah. So if you're matriculant and you're writing an exam, stretch your vision. It's for Allah. And you realize doing things for Allah is never in vain. No matter how much you strive, no matter how much you break your body down to strive for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what you do for the sake of Allah, it will never be in vain. As a matter of fact, it's not, you won't get what you put in, you won't just get that, the reward of that, you get so much more. And it's that khayrun wa abqa. If you compare what is in this dunya and you compare what is in the akhirah, it is so much more. So when you had a sleepless night, when you had a difficult day at work, when you had a family problem, when you are in any situation, difficult situation, you name it, you couldn't meet the payment that you had to do, and you came out of that situation, you won't feel stressed. Because you did it for Allah, so it is worth it. Whatever you did for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will be worth it. So that stress won't be there. However, you'll find a contentment. Says Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Jannah is a step up. It's a step up. It's a climb up. It's climbing. It's a difficult journey up. But you see, as you are difficult, as it progresses, as you're walking through something difficult, you need assistance because you cannot walk that road alone. So everything that is on your lips is, Ya Allah help me, Ya Allah help me. But to Jahannam, it's a sahal, it is going down. When you're walking down a hill, you don't need no assistance. You don't need no assistance at all. So you're not going to call upon Allah. So the idea and the secret of that is, as we walk uphill, that is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. But we should be striving for the right reason. May Allah grant us the understanding. So, we look at the situation that we are all facing today. Each and every one of us. Look at the situation that you are in. Look at what you are trying to achieve. Look at what you have achieved already. And ask yourself the question, who is the one who sent all these things? Who is the one who kept back the rain? Who is the one that will send the rain? Who is the essence of everything? Who is the one who has placed these barriers in front of me? Who is the one that is testing me? Who is things difficult upon me? Who is that? Who has placed this in front of me? No doubt, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, all of us know the answer. And this is the key to life. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody has a doubt. Allah is Al-Hayy, He is Al-Qayyum, as we have said. He is the creator, He is the nourisher and the sustainer. Sometimes we have the impression that Allah creates. He simply creates and then He lets us be. That is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does. He creates and He's also the sustainer. You know, you hear now and then people on a life support machine. It's helping them. They cannot breathe by themselves. They cannot eat anymore. It has to go in via the drip. They cannot sustain themselves. They cannot breathe. They cannot digest their own food. They cannot swallow. They cannot do anything by themselves. They're on life support. That is a lesson for each and every one of us. We are on life support now. Every breath that we take now is by the permission of Allah. Every single breath that we take now, and we take it for granted. Every morsel of food that we have, that is by the permission of Allah. You can eat that food. Who digests that food? Do you tell your body to digest it? Do you tell your body to take it into the bloodstream? No. Allah, we are on the life support of Allah. That is what is meant by Allah is Al-Qayyum. He's constantly sustaining us. We are constantly alive by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So logically we come into a conclusion. Now if that is the answer, think about the difficulties that we are facing. Matriculants, whether it is in the workplace, universities, whether it is our families, whether you are striving for position, whether people are trying to take you away from a position, no matter what difficulties you are going through, the secret of this understanding is huge. The outcome is, make a logical conclusion. The logical conclusion is, whose door are we going to knock on now for the rain? Whose door are we going to knock on? Who are we going to turn to now to solve our marriage problems? Whose door are we going to knock on now to solve our financial problems? We're going to look for another job. We're going to try to do this. We're going to try to do that. Whose door are we going to knock on? It is the door of Allah. So that is the difference of a Muslim. When he is in difficulty, he doesn't get tied down with the means in front of him. He does it to the best of his ability though. He utilizes this means and he appreciates this because this is what Allah has created. But ultimately he knows it is Allah that sustains. A guy works very hard, he comes home with nothing. A guy works very hard, he comes home with millions. Who is that? It is Allah. Allah, He stipulates the rizq. He stipulates all of our rizq, but we have to work. So again, the logical conclusion is that we knock on the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what is meant when Allah says, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run towards Allah. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّ لَكُمْ مِنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Indeed I am for you, O people. Indeed I am for you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am a clear warner. A clear warner of what? Jahannam is there, Jannah is there. Protect yourself from Jahannam. What is going to get you there? By becoming confused, by delving into this dunya to such an extent that you forget about Allah. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. So when we are speaking about fleeing towards Allah, we are saying from from Allah's ma'siyat to His ta'ah. From the disobedience of Allah, flee towards His obedience. From the ungratefulness to our Creator, we flee towards gratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From evil, we go towards the good. This is how, and we take means to flee towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abu Ubaidah, he told Umar. Umar didn't want to enter Sham because there was a plague. And he says, "Nafirru min qadarillah." You're going away from the decree of Allah. And he says, "Nafirru min qadarillah ila qadarillah." We are going from the qadar of Allah to the qadar of Allah. We are going from the qadar of Allah and we're running to the qadar of Allah. So what Umar is teaching us is that we have to utilize the means. Nobody is saying that we have to sit at home, the rizq is going to come. That's a sign that nothing's going to happen. You can close the fridge, open it, there's cheese, no cheese, close it, you make dua, the whole day, open it, it's still going to be no cheese. I tried it, it's not going to work. You have to go to the shop. If you don't have money, not going to afford the cheese, so you need to go work. But if you get on a train today, we have no guarantee you're going to get to where you need to be. You can buy the ticket, visas there, alles. But, oh shucks, it's not Schuster, I don't want to say the name. But, you know, you have no guarantee that you're going to get. You utilize the means, but it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will get you to where you want to be. So you see that the contentment is now, and whatever Allah has placed in front of us. Whatever, the lunch we're going to have today, the supper we're going to have today, we don't know. Do you know Allah has chosen that? Not just, okay, we've given Him such a kilograms of food. No. Allah stipulates exactly what type of food we're going to have. So this is what is meant. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Flee towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Take an example and we come to a conclusion. If there was a knock on the door every day at 7 o'clock, open the door, this guy gives you the ability to breathe. Okay, let's not put it that way. He gives you a check of 1,000 rand. With that 1,000 rand, you can buy your food, you can pay your rent for that day, you can do whatever you need to do, you can buy your clothes, and you sort it out for the day. Money expires at night. Tomorrow there's another knock on the door. Messenger brings again, gives you a gift. Open it again, same thing. 1,000 rand, 1,000 rand, 2,000, whatever, every single day. Can you picture a man starting to kiss the hands and the feet of this messenger and utilizes the money, and every day the messenger comes and he thanks the messenger, and that's it. He never worries who sends. Who is the sender? Nobody can picture something like that. No one can understand that someone can be that, illogical. Obviously, when somebody gives us a gift, we look to who has sent us gift. If we can understand this, ask yourself today how Shaitan has confused us. How has Shaitan confused us? The clothes that we are wearing now today, who sent that? Yes, we went to the shop, we utilized the means, but who sent that? Who is the ultimate sender? The cars that we have, the houses that we have, the food that we eat, who is the one who sent that? When we were sick, who cured us? It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we can see how Shaitan utilizes this dunya and he deceives us. How much of us have become so busy and entrenched and drowned in whatever we are doing that we forgot about this aqidah. How much of us? Think about it, my dear brothers and sisters. Simple message. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadun Rasulullah. Clear message. Can we utilize that message when we go out of this masjid? Can we? If we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every step of the way, remember there's this one very scary verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-Yawma, very, very scary verse, my dear brothers and sisters. If we forget about Allah, we become so busy we can't perform salah. We become so busy that we have to take recourse to things that is haram. Because we cannot wait for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has in store for us. We cannot wait. So there's this very scary verse. Al-Yawma, today, nansakum, we will forget about you. Imagine Allah tells you that in the day of Qiyamah, the day when you need the shade of Allah, the day when you need the rahmah of Allah, and you're waiting for Allah, Ya Allah, I'm standing here, and Allah tells you, Al-Yawm, today, nansakum, we will forget about you. Why? Allah says, كَمَا نَسِيتُمْ لِقَاءَ يَوْمِكُمْ هَذَا. Like how you forgot about this day of mine. When you were out doing your thing, out and about, you forgot about me. You forgot about me when you ate. You forgot about me in the workplace. You only remembered me at certain times. So today I'm going to forget about you like you have forgotten about me. Very scary, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Hada, Allah says, وَمَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارِ. And on top of that, your abode that you have already built for yourself. وَمَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارِ. Your abode is the fire. Who built that abode for you? Yourself. وَمَأْوَاكُمُ النَّارِ. وَمَا لَكُمْ مِنْ نَاصِرِينَ. Allah says, you're not going to have any help in that fight. Do we want to be in a situation like that? Sometimes, if you hear about somebody that passed away, I will conclude now, and you want to hear what did they do when they lost. Very often you hear, no, we saw him. He was there, I greeted him, everything was normal. He still greeted that person, he still did that, I still saw him in the shop. How often have we heard that? Everything was normal, and then all of a sudden it happened. But then you ask yourself this, when was that big test? You woke up and Shaitan was saying, oh, ye follow me. Never happened. Where was that angel that says, don't listen to Shaitan, come to me? Never happened. Your test, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, our test is the small little things that we go through daily. That is the test in life. Because when life ends, we have already written our life and how it is going to be. Like how we live, we will die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and grant us the understanding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about, He says, should I not indicate to you about those who are most lost? Most lost on the day of Qiyamah. Those who have been they have been working, and يَحْسَبُونَ, they thought that they are doing good. But when they come on the day of Qiyamah, they realize they have done nothing. Why? They never had time to ponder. They never had time to think. Whenever you're alone, you're on WhatsApp. Whenever you're alone, you're on Facebook, Instagram. Every time. When we ride in the car, there's something taking up. Whether it's music, something is taking our mind away. When we get home, it's the TV. We get to work, we're speaking. When we get home, we need to rest. There's no time to think about Allah. There's no time at all unless we make the time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this beautiful day of JUMUAH, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open up our hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alleviate all our problems. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open up our sight. We have forgotten about Allah. We have forgotten that He has placed this test. May Allah open up our sight. May Allah ease our problems. Wa jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.